It's good to have you guys all back. In today's episode, we have Season 3, Episode 4 of our multi-part Autoflower Grow series. You can check the links in the description where I'll be putting the entire series in one playlist just in case anyone missed an episode. But today, we are taking our plants from day 16 all the way to day 24. I'm going to go over how I train my plants using the low stress training method. If you've never trained your plants before, then this is a good episode to watch. We are also seeing some early signs of nitrogen deficiency, and we also found some bugs in what we thought was a sealed tent. So stay along for the ride. You might learn a thing or two from my trial and error. As the old saying goes, a smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. Showing! Alright y'all, this is the 2-week update. So far, no issues. There is some yellowing. I don't know if you guys can really tell. I mean, it looks like we're getting some yellowing of the leaves, kind of almost like a splattering of the yellow. Now this is hard to see, but right here on the edges you can see some yellowing while the center of the leaves are much greener. This could be a sign of nitrogen deficiency. Now the plant is a little over 2 weeks old, which is the time I wait before I give my plants a liquid fertilizer. Something with a low NPK like a liquid kelp. Nothing more than a 111 NPK. But I didn't end up doing this, even though I should have. So I'll learn from this mistake of mine.
Stupid is, stupid does, sir.
And here is a chart that I will reference if I ever need to. I found this online, but it does have a good illustration of various deficiencies. You can pause the video here to get a screenshot and save it for your reference. And I just recently put a sticky trap for the gnats. I did see a couple flying around and it did catch a couple of them. Sweet tooth over there, never sprouted. And it's been a full 2 weeks, so they're definitely not gonna sprout anymore. So it looks like the diesel is gonna have the whole tent to herself. Same thing with this other sweet tooth that I started. Nothing, no germination. Doubt it's gonna germinate. Showing! So we are on day 19 as of right now. That is 19 days since the plant has sprouted. And so today we're gonna be doing a little cleanup of the bottom leaves that are mainly touching the soil. As when I water, I don't want some of that soil, wet soil, to splash back onto the leaves, which can harbor diseases and things like that. So to prevent all that, I'm just gonna do a little trim, not too much. And also I'm gonna be doing a little bit of LST, or at least I'm gonna be trying. So once I clean the bottom up a little bit, I'm gonna start to try and bend it over. Let's just see how flexible she really is and how much I can bend her.
I'd like to bend her over a barrel and show her the 50 states, you know what I'm saying?
As I said before, this early trim I'm only going to be taking off the bottom leaves that are touching the soil, or at least very close to it. You can use your hand to lift the higher leaves so you can get a better visual. Now don't be afraid to move the plant around. So long as you're not shaking the plant vigorously, it'll be alright.
Calm down! Get a hold of yourself!
Doctor, you're one on the phone.
I always recommend to not take off more than 30% of the entire foliage to prevent the plant from being shocked. After the trim, I'm going to use some garden staples to isolate the bottom branches. The object here is to have the garden staples hold down the branches so that they grow towards the sides of the pot. The lower branches should look something like this. I find placing the staples around the center or a bit further toward the tip of the branch works best. Putting it too close to the main stem won't hold down the branch at all. As I touched on previously, these staples will hold down the branches so they grow towards the sides of the pot. Now what this ultimately does is force the branches to stretch away from the center of the plant where it can be potentially shaded out. That way, a potential coleocyte like this can receive direct light and use that direct light to fully develop. If left shaded, it will not develop into the bud that we all know and love.
All I need are some tasty waves, cool buzz, and I'm fine.
Now that we isolated the bottom branches, it's time to do the same with the main stem. What I like to do is bend the main stem towards an area where there is no lower branches. I'll scan around the plant and find a gap like this, then bend that main stem into the direction of the gap. This will prevent the main stem from shading out the bottom branches that we just staked down. Take your time with bending the main stem, bending and releasing, then bending and releasing some more. The plant is malleable just don't force the plant all at once, or you might snap it. If that happens, well, then the ball game is over.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
So here's a better close-up. In regards to the potential bud sites like this one here and this, you can see that I've kind of tried to tuck away these larger leaves that can cover and shade the light from these points. Now, not everything is gonna be hit directly with sunlight. As you can see, this piece of leaf is kind of shading this one out. So if you ever see that, just go ahead and tuck this right behind there, just like that. So that way it's getting direct light from above. And you just keep looking around. Same thing here. I mean, this one, you can see it's tucked, this main leaf. If it was just out as normal, it would be like that and shading out this potential bud site. So we're gonna go ahead and tuck that right behind there. Now, it's not gonna be an exact science. These plants will move. The fans in here will blow around and they may end up shading it out, but you would want to come out here and, you know, check on it at least once a day. If you see that these bud sites are getting blocked again, go ahead and just tuck it back. You just want to keep doing that constantly till eventually there's no need to have to tuck. They'll just be outgrowing the larger leaves.
Showing.
Alright guys, so here is day 24. And I am a bit confused as to why I just killed a cricket that was in this tray here. I have no idea. This is literally a sealed tent, but apparently there's a hole somewhere, or I don't know how they're getting in exactly, because I can understand this vent here, as you can see, has a stocking on it. And obviously nothing can go through the stocking unless there's a hole in the stocking, which I don't see. Oh, there's light coming out of here. Son of a... This is how they're getting in. I gotta put you guys down. Alright guys, I think we solved the open tent problem. That was my fault. So, what the issue was, basically, I have too many cables coming out of this one vent hole here, and that gap left enough for bugs to crawl in. Well, I mean, light's still penetrating out now, but that's because it's coming out of here, and at night, the bugs see it, crawl in, and that's how we got bugs in the tent. So now what I did, I brought this drawstring in here, which was currently out there, and I tightened it really tight around, and then left this one out here. So we got one in and one out. And now if I close the tent fully, just to test it, because we can see light if there's still a hole there. And it looks pretty sealed. That light you see there is coming out of that. This vent hole here is sealed with mesh, so nothing's getting in. But as of right now, you don't see any light coming out. Came in and saw a damn cricket just stared at me right there. I was like, what the hell is happening?
Hey, you're on our turf, man. Hey, man, I cut you up so bad. You're gonna wish I don't cut you up so bad.
But here's an update. I think she might need some water. Yeah, she needs some water. So I'm just gonna hit her with some water real quick. Thank you all so much for watching. Now, if you did like the video, don't forget to throw up a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, you can click on any of the thumbnails to the side of me. And you can also use the on-screen icon right below me to subscribe so that you stay up to date with all my videos. This is Rudy with Gavada Garden signing out and letting you know that you won't get a harvest if you don't sow seeds.